Welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson, and we have an exciting show for you this week. We're going to stop over into Chesaning, Michigan, and visit with a group of kids that's just eaten up with archery. It's a pretty fun time over there, and Jimmy's got some other fun stuff for us this week, too.
Well, Jenny, we are pretty excited for your story on this week's program, and kind of staying with that theme of getting kids into the outdoors, we are going to tag along with an 18-year-old high school student who's one of the best houndsmen we have here in the great state of Michigan, and see what goes into doing some nuisance coon control this time of the year and how he trains his big hounds. You won't want to miss that story. We're also going to have a father and son turkey hunt, and I believe we're going to have time for a bragging board segment as well. So lots of good stuff on this week's program. So much great stuff happening this time of the year if you're a sportsman, so you stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's the love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Meijer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meijer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meijer. By Zimmer Roofing and Construction in Port Huron, featuring Duralast roofing systems made in Michigan. Zimmer Roofing and Construction provides installation, maintenance, service, and repair, serving commercial and residential clients on the web at zimmerroofing.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
On the back roads of Montcalm County, there is the Witherspoon residence, which just happens to be home of one of our state's up-and-coming houndsmen. With a lot of hardware to show for it, Bailey Witherspoon. Bailey is 18 and has been running hounds for about a decade now. This time of the year, we were going to be chasing some nuisance coon.
Well, I like to hunt every weekend, every night of the weekend that I can. Fridays, a little bit of Mondays, just to keep as much time in the woods when I'm not at school. But and the nuisance coon that we're going to be hunting is from a dairy farm that's down the road here. And they're coming into the feed bunkers, silage bunkers, and they're having a bad problem with that. And the coons carry diseases, and then they have these cows, and they don't want it spreading disease and lowering their milk production. So we try to take care of them. They come and ask us to take care of the nuisance coon for us that are getting into their feeders and take care of them.
Bailey works with these dogs from early on and trains them on a variety of game: coon, bear, coyote, and bobcat. Although these dogs are hard hunters, he also shows them in the bench portions of the different trials that he has done, with 3 field championships, 2 bench championships, and 1 water championship.
And another little trick I've learned is to get their tail to stand up. Like if a dog's leaning on you, instead of backing away, they'll keep leaning. So if they're leaning this way, kind of tug on their skin like that, and it makes her pull away this way. If I want her to pull back, she'll move back, and if I want to get her tail to stand up, kind of just tickle her hair on her tail, just like that. She'll stand just like that.
So with the sun setting, we were getting the dogs ready to load for a night of hunting. Coons are primarily nocturnal, so getting in the woods too early can be a little bit of a waste of time. Who we got going with us tonight, Bailey?
This is Bo. These are my 2-year-old male and my 5-year-old male Skeeter over here.
And how about these 2 males over here?
These are my 2 hunting partners, Luke Hubbard and Tyler Hubbard.
Okay. The first farm we were going to hit this evening was only a few miles down the road. The dogs were anxious to get going, as were we. We waited till after 9 before we put the dogs down, and they were off and running. Now, Bailey ran me through just how this was supposed to work, and I have to admit he knew what he was talking about, because in a matter of minutes we had dogs on a trail, and shortly after that we had a coon up a tree. Standing in the dark, watching the stars, and waiting to hear the sound of the hounds, well, it is something everyone should experience.
We'll pull into a woods and we'll get the dogs out and we'll cast them toward the woods, upwind of the woods, so they can get a good scent to where they want to go. And they'll make a lap around the woods or trail through the woods, and when they find the scent of a coon, they'll strike, which is bark, and they'll keep barking if the trail's good, and then they'll find a tree. And I'll show you guys what a locating noise is that they bark. They'll make a longer bark when they hit the tree, and then that's how I know when they're treed. The hides this time of year they're kind of stained up, worn from being in the den trees all year over the winter, and we don't sell them. We just kind of take care of them out in the woods, and hopefully they keep the population a little bit down toward around these farms that we have permission to come in and take them out.
So here we were at our first treed coon of the night. What will typically happen is that Bailey will let the dogs bark a little bit and then get them tied off. After that, the guys all locate the coon as best they can in the tree and get a good angle for a shot. Once that happens, we get the gun out and load it. Again, the reason we were hunting them this time of the year is to help out the local farmers. Coons can cause all sorts of issues, from damage to property or even disease to the farm's cattle. We were happy to help them out tonight. One good shot and the coon was on the ground. Now, there are several breeds of big hounds, and I had Bailey talk a little bit about why he chooses the breeds he does and what some of them are typically known for.
Well, I have had really good luck with trained walker coon hounds, and I have 3 registered UKC, PKC walkers, but I also do have a couple blue tick black and tan crosses that have worked outstanding for bear, coon, coyote, and bobcat. That's kind of something that's kind of unusual. Some trial dog hunters, they're mostly just coon dogs, but my dogs, I start them out in the springtime with these nuisance coon, training the pups on coon. Then in July we start transferring them over to bear hunting, and then we start knocking the coon out in the fall. And then once it comes wintertime, we start running the coyotes and then bobcat, and we do it all over again.
So it's a year-round thing?
It's a year-round thing.
I have found that whether you're talking the big hounds or retrievers or bird dogs, the more that folks hunt with dogs, the more that becomes the main reason they love to hit the woods.
What I most enjoy about hunting these hounds is, I love getting to work with puppies and getting to raise them and just seeing how they turn out when they're getting older, and being able to know, looking at the dogs and going to these shows and everyone's noticing, and I can say I've trained them all by myself, and it's just, I like being out in the outdoors, and hounds has just come along really well.
It is always great to hit the woods with the houndsmen of our state. We did go to a few more spots, and we found a few more coon before we called it a night. There is something really cool about hearing these dogs in the dark of the night. And to be out with a group of teenagers doing it, well, it made me feel really good about the direction of this great sport. Thanks to Bailey for letting me tag along, and I hope he becomes the norm as more and more young folks take to the woods and see what enjoyment there is in hunting with the big hounds here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown. Next up on this week's show, we have a turkey hunt from the Kalamazoo area where I was able to tag along with a father and son team as they notched a tag on a beautiful Michigan morning. Today I'd be tagging along with a father and son duo from Southwest Michigan looking to fill a couple of turkey tags. We started things off in an area where the guys had roosted some birds the night before.
Here we are out in Scotts, Michigan. We've been watching these birds for the last 2 days. We have 2 birds roosted up in a tree line over here. One's a tom for sure. I can see his tail feathers. The other one's got its back towards us. I can't tell what it is. Last night we roosted some other birds about 600 yards down another tree line, kind of perpendicular to it. And that's pretty much it. We're just hoping they see our decoys. We're gonna start calling in a minute with some light yelps and hope they fly down our way.
Although the birds did fly down somewhat in our direction, they quickly found a couple of hens once they hit the ground and stayed well out of range. But we decided to wait it out for a while and see if the toms would change their mind.
So we got out here this morning about a half an hour before daylight. Had some birds roosted up in the trees where we thought they would be. As daybreak broke with the sun coming up behind them, they were pretty easy to pick out. There were 3 that we could see. They ended up coming down into the field and not exactly doing what we wanted. The toms were a little preoccupied with the hens they were with. And that portion of the morning didn't pan out too much. As we started deciding that the morning was wrapping up there, we started getting our stuff together and turned around, and in one of the adjacent fields, we had 5 jakes popping their little heads out there. So we hurried her up and turned around, got set up.
These jakes were working their way in about exactly the wrong spot. We had set up for birds coming in from the complete opposite direction when this group of jakes snuck in the back door. Now we had to reposition, hoping we could get a shot through the dense brush.
And when those jakes came in, we were really surprised because we were ready to call it quits, or, go to a different spot. We turned around, we saw them, and I got really excited. My son could see them better than I could, so at first I didn't quite know what they were. But when he said they were all jakes, I thought, ooh, this is going to be pretty good. If we want, we could get a double. If he wants to wait for a bigger one, he could wait for a bigger one. This was my last day, so I wanted to make sure I got one today.
Although we entertained the idea of trying to get a double on camera, TJ decided he'd rather wait in hopes of finding a tom later on in the day. Don, however, was ready and willing to take a shot.
Go ahead, shoot it. Go. Put it there. That's good. That was sweet. Hey, shoot. That was sweet. Get that? Yep.
The shot was perfect, and although the setup wasn't ideal, everything worked out just fine. And Don was excited to have filled his Michigan turkey tag.
Yeah, we were just ready to give up the spot, and we turned around. There were 5 in the other field, so we called, and they came up, and the 5 of them all came up, and we got this one. This is my last day, so I'm thrilled to have a turkey, and we're going to eat turkey. It's a young jake, and it was a good hunt. It was exciting. It was exciting. I'm 64 years old, and I've been turkey hunting for, I don't know, 15 years, something like that. And I just love doing it because, for one thing, I do it with my son, and it's just nice getting out here, finding the birds, calling the birds, watching them come into your calls, and then, of course, shooting them. but a lot of it's the camaraderie, and it's the challenge of shooting the birds and calling them in. That's what I really love about it.
Me and my dad love turkey hunting together. We love hunting everything together. It's one thing where we could be out, like I said, in a nice time of year and enjoy the afternoon, and a little bit of camaraderie in the woods, you know, never hurt a father and son. And that's why we like it so much.
Special thanks to TJ and Don for letting me tag along on a memorable morning in the Michigan turkey woods.
A few years ago, the Chesaning School District lost its Archery in the Schools program, but a local conservation group made sure that wasn't the end of it for good. The Chesaning Area Conservation Club has been around for many decades now and has strived in passing on our outdoor heritage to the next generations. One of their most popular youth programs happens on Saturday mornings here at the club's new indoor archery range.
Well, this is our 6th year with the program. Mark and I started it 6 years ago. Our first year we had 23 kids. Started in our old clubhouse. And every year since then it's been growing. Basically the kids have to start out at 5 yards. Obviously the number one thing we promote is safety, proper techniques to get them started. We've had kids as young as 4 years old on up to, we've still got kids that started 6 years ago that are still shooting. We actually have them shoot in a Wednesday league.
Kids shoot from 5 yards all the way out to 25 yards depending on their skill level. With such a large number of youth who want to participate in the program, the club splits it into 2 separate sessions with around 50 kids in each session throughout the day.
Well, it's open to the public, any kids. A lot of the kids are here that they're not members of the club. But over the last 3 years, we've had over 100 kids. So the program kept growing, and we just thought it'd be great to get something in our area, because obviously between Chesaning, St. Charles area, this is big out here, and it's just one of the things that we think it's important for the outdoors to keep the kids involved in that. You know, there's so much technology and games and stuff like that, but and this year we actually have more girls than we do boys, where it always started out as more boys, and it seems to be more and more girls every year. So yeah, we're pretty excited about, you know, how far we've came with it.
When I stopped in to visit, this group was in the last week of an 8-week session, so the young archers here didn't require a lot of assistance hitting their marks at the line. As Chad said, the girls were well represented here, and that's always nice to see. How are you girls doing?
Good.
Having fun?
Yes.
Did you shoot yet?
Yes.
What yardage did you shoot?
15.
15, all right. So how long have you been shooting the bow?
This is my 4th year.
4th year, cool. Are you gonna go out hunting someday?
Yeah.
All right.
I already hunt with a gun, just not with a bow yet.
Really? The archery program here helps to get kids interested in bow hunting and develops their skill at an early age. Stacy Rolfe has her kids here, and they really enjoy it. Why do you think, how long have you guys been doing this?
This is our first year.
Okay, wow. How'd you get involved with it?
We heard about it from some friends whose daughters did it, and so our kids like to be outside and do the hunting, and so we thought we would give it a shot.
Awesome. So what do you think so far?
It's a great experience. The kids have really enjoyed learning how to shoot and see their progress as they have gone throughout the weeks. I think it's important to expose them to different opportunities, and this is one that we wouldn't normally have an opportunity to do if the Conservation Center didn't offer it for the kids. So we're really excited about just letting the girls especially do that. Kyle's a hunter, so he's been out in the woods doing that with his dad, but this is Haley's first time doing it.
It's good to see the kids in this community taking part in such great numbers in this program. With the Archery in the Schools program discontinued, there was a void that needed to be filled. I asked co-founder Mark Stopczyk if they expected attendance to grow like it has.
Yeah, we expected it. You know, it just took a while for us to advertise and get out there to the kids, but we lost it in our schools, the Archery in the School program. So they don't have a program anymore, so we kind of took over that. We got all their equipment donated to us to use.
I mean, the kids really enjoy it. It seems like a social event for them, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they love it. Yeah, a lot of them I talk to, they can't wait to get out here every week. So it's kind of unreal, you know, how these kids just love to do it. And we try and keep them confident, you know, don't get discouraged You know, you don't have to score bullseyes every time. You know, it's all in your technique, and that's the big thing we work on for them.
Some of the older kids have been at it for a long time and have honed their archery skills here at the Chesaning Conservation Club. In this session, there were only 2 shooters at the 20-yard line and 1 archer who is dialed in at 25 yards. These guys are definitely ready for deer season. Mark explained how kids earn their way back to the big leagues.
Well, we start everybody at 5 yards, and we tell them they got to get 280 points at 5 yards. They think it's a lot, but after they shoot for a few weeks, they get closer and closer and closer to 280. Okay. And we figured that 280, they can get their technique down and being able to get everything right and get that score. And if they move back to 10 yards, they don't have their technique yet. They're just going to keep getting worse and worse, you know, because you got to have it right to move back. So.
And speaking of having it right, the good folks here at Chesaning Area Conservation Club are doing it right for sure. When the local Archery in the Schools program was discontinued, these guys stepped up and kept it alive by volunteering their own time to build a facility and teach these kids a skill they may never otherwise learn, all while passing on the outdoor heritage and keeping it alive and well here in Michigan's Out of Doors. Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you check us out online when you get a chance. You can do that a couple of different ways on our website at michiganoutofdoorstv.com and on our Facebook page at Michigan Out of Doors TV. You can check out all sorts of fun stuff there, including what we're up to and what's coming up next on the show. And speaking of what's coming up next, we've got a lot in store for you.
Well, Jenny, that's right. Lots of good stuff happening here on Michigan Out of Doors over the next couple of weeks. We've got 2 really nice stories from the Detroit River. You won't want to miss that. Of course, we've got some more turkey hunting coming up, and I'm pretty excited because I am leaving tomorrow to go to one of my favorite places here in the state of Michigan, Beaver Island, to do a little turkey hunting over the next few days. So make sure you stay tuned over the next several weeks. A lot of brand new stuff happening here in Michigan Out of Doors, and if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by the Department of Natural Resources Fisheries Division, reminding fishermen that they are our first line of defense in stopping aquatic invasive species. To minimize the risk of invasives, it is required by law to properly dispose of live bait after your fishing trip. By doing so, you help protect Michigan's world-class fishery. By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. Closed captioning is brought to you by Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, east to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I